What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, the big day is finally here. We got the big surprise for the Honda Civic Type-R FL5 in Boost Blue Pearl. Now, I've been waiting a few months for these things to arrive, and I can finally reveal what's going to go ahead and be installed on the FL5 Type-R. So as you can see right here, we got 18-inch raised wheels, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what's in the box. So these wheels are quite special. They're custom spec for the FL5 Type-R. They're not available on the shelf. So without further ado, let's go ahead, crack open the boxes of these wheels and show you exactly what's going to go onto the FL5 in the near future. Alrighty guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. What exactly do these wheels look like? So fresh delivery from Australia, which then came from Japan. Kind of give you some idea right there. 18x10, 40 offset, 5x120 matte black. All right guys, let's go ahead and crack this box open and see what these wheels or rims actually look like in person. I just can't wait. Just be careful with the razor blade. Don't cut yourself in excitement. Okay, we got some angled packaging right here, cardboard pieces, protect the lips of the wheels. And then we've got this cardboard piece which protects the face from any damages. Pull that out. I'm gonna go ahead and use this, put this on the table so I don't scratch up the back of the wheel. Okay, looks like I got a warranty policy here, and there it is in Japanese. Now I think for this reveal right here, before I go ahead and pull this cloth cover off, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out of the box. That way we can have a proper reveal. So let me pull the wheel out of the box, set this thing on the table, and we'll do a proper reveal. Oh, and before you forget, go ahead and take your razor blade and cut this white angular box out. So this little rectangular box right here will be your valve stem. Let me show you what's going on with this. European air valve, raised new logo, BK, I guess it's black. Cut this thing open and show you guys what's inside here. I can get my razor in the right position. Just remember to watch your fingers. Okay, this is the valve stem, and I'm going to show you guys how to mount this valve stem onto your Volk racing wheel. All right, so this thing may look complicated. There's a lot of variables involved here. There's two nuts, a washer, rubber washer, and you got the valve stem cap right there. Anyways, let's go ahead and focus on the actual wheel. Alrighty guys, here comes the big reveal. 18x10, 5x120 with a face 4 concave. This thing's gonna look really aggressive from the pictures I've seen. It's a little windy, so I apologize about that. So let's go ahead and have a drum roll. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Wow, look at that detail. I don't know if you can see the concave action of this wheel, guys. I mean, just look at how those spokes just flow right on the inside. This thing's gonna be really, really aggressive. I mean, just look at the details. All the engraving right here on the lip, made in Japan, forged, S+, raised engineering. I mean, they just did not skimp on any detail whatsoever. Man, just look at the detail. I'm really impressed about that concave level right there. Now, for example, if you got a concave 1 or a concave 2, it's going to be a lot less than this. It's going to be a gradual. Face 1, by the way, is almost flat. It's very ugly, that's my opinion. If you're going to go with some Volk racing wheels, make sure you get a minimum of a face 2. But if you want something aggressive like this, get a face 3, and this right here is a face 4, by the way. All right, let's take a look at the inside of the lip. All right, we got the 18x10, 40 offset, TE37 Saga S+, and this was manufactured May 21st, 2025. Kind of makes sense, because I ordered this thing at the end of May, so I've been waiting about 4.5 months for this thing to come in. It finally came in from Japan, well, technically Australia. Went from Japan to Australia, over here United States. And then we got this raised Spec 2. I can't read Japanese, sorry about that, guys. And then we got a warning label right there. Okay, in regards to this warning label right here, danger, do not install this wheel on specified vehicles due to restriction of the load limit. Refer to the code for a list of inapplicable vehicles. So I guess you can scan that with your phone right there. Okay, so let's check out the finish of that barrel. It's very nice. There's a little detail of how the barrel just flows in. If you want to take a look at the lip of the wheels, most wheels, by the way, they only have one side with these ridges. So Volk Racing, it looks like on this one at least, for Saga S Plus T37, you got ridges on this inside lip and ridges on the outside lip to really hold that tire in place. I mean, these things are really designed for motorsport use. Just gotta be careful to rotate this thing on the cardboard. Don't want to scratch up the back lip. All right guys, as you can see with the finish of this wheel, this is matte black. So this is the finish I want to go with, matte black or satin black. I did not want to go with gloss black. Gloss black, by the way, is just too flashy for me. So I believe the original FL5 wheels are a satin black, but this is a matte black. So if you can kind of get an idea on the sheen right there, but like I said before, this is a matte black finish. So I think this will give the car a real aggressive look while maintaining an OEM plus image of how Honda intended with the black wheels. Now in regards to the color choice, I was stuck between bronze wheels and the matte black. I got bronze wheels on the Tacoma. Let me go ahead and show you a picture of that real quick. So I initially chose matte black. I'm not sure what the bronze is going to look like with the boost blue. I mean, there's just so many colors going on. You got boost blue, you got all the black accents, you got red calipers, and then you have bronze wheels. So it's like 4 different colors right there clashing with one another. So with the matte black, you got, you know, the matte black wheels, you got gloss black finishes with the mirrors, the rear spoiler, and the windows, and then you got boost blue, and then you got the red calipers. So technically the first 2 colors, those are the most important ones, because, you know, matte black and the gloss black will kind of coordinate with one another. All right guys, so what does everyone think of the wheel choice that I chose for this? I know it's not on the car yet. We need to go ahead and get tires put on this thing, but before we go ahead and put tires on this thing, we need to go ahead and mount the valve stem in here. And then I like to go ahead and ceramic coat or graphene coat this entire wheel on the face and inside barrel, just to help keep this thing clean. So that's number 2 and number 3. I'll show you what I want to do. Okay, and then with number 3, I want to go ahead and put some PPF right here in his decals. So if you put a PPF strip right here, around the inside lip covering his decals, it'll actually protect these decals from coming off. So if you want to go ahead and keep these decals, you want to go ahead and put like a PPF strip. So I've got the PPF strip on order. It's coming in the mail. I'm not sure when it's coming, so it should be in the next few days. But I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that. So PPF strip over your decals, and the decals will stay in place. And my Toyota Tacoma, by the way, the decal is already peeled off on the front and it's halfway peeled off on the back. So apparently these decals do not last long if you're going to put some miles on these wheels like I plan to. So it is what it is at that point. So we're going to go ahead and prevent that situation with the PPF strip over these decals right here. Okay, in order to mount the raised valve stem on a raised wheel, let me show you what you need to do. Okay, so for tools and equipment, I got a 14mm ratcheting wrench. I don't think you need a ratcheting wrench for this, but this is my second wrench. You'll need a second 14mm wrench, and then got a 14mm socket and a small 1/4" ratchet, and then you need blue thread lock. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take this valve stem apart. So you got the valve stem cap right here. You've got a nut on this side, and you got a nut below that. Let me go ahead and take this apart and show you the next step. Okay, and this right here is the variables of your raised valve stem. You got the valve stem body right there. You got a flat washer, and you got this elevated nut with a flat portion on the bottom, and you got a thin nut, and you got the valve stem cap. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take the valve stem body right here, and there's a hole right on the bottom side. Shove it through from the bottom, and there it is coming through the top. Okay, this next step is tricky because you need to go ahead and put some thread lock first nut. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to stay right here because I got to put some thread lock on the last bolt. I don't want this thing falling out, so I'll pull this out right now. Okay, the next step is a washer on top of that, and then we're going to be dealing with this large nut. So this large nut right here, you want the flat portion facing south or down towards the wheel lip right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and put a dab of thread lock on the threads right here of this first nut. Okay, so put a small dab of thread lock, just maybe 2 dabs, doesn't need to be much. This stuff goes a long way. Just like so. Okay. Shove that right through like that. Okay, make sure you put your flat washer in position. And then you take that large nut with the flat side facing south. Let's go ahead and screw that on. Might get a little thread lock on your fingers. Go wipe that off. Okay, this bolt is now snug. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my flathead screwdriver. I'm gonna go on the bottom side, hold that stem, and I'm actually gonna turn it with that flathead screwdriver. And while I turn the screwdriver, I'm gonna go ahead and take my 14mm. You can either use your wrench for a ratchet. I'll probably use the ratchet right now to hold that thing in position. So all I want to do is I want to make sure this flat side right here is facing that lip perfectly. I don't want that point basically facing that lip. It's just an OCD thing. So I'm going to hand tighten this thing as much as I can. Keep it where it's at. All right, it's pretty flat right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and hold that with my ratchet. You take your screwdriver, go on the underside and start turning. You want to make this thing real snug. All right, I don't know if you can see right here, but this nut moved just a little bit. Let me go ahead and snug that up. Okay, it looks perfect. Okay, you want to go ahead and take this thin nut right here and put a little dab of thread lock as well. Now remember, it doesn't take much. Just got 2 little dabs right there. Let's go ahead and hand tighten this. We'll go ahead and wipe off the excess. Once we got this thing snugged up. Okay, we're almost there. So I don't know if you can see this top nut right here. You got the point. It's facing towards the lip. I want to go ahead and make sure that this nut right here is actually matching the orientation of the bottom nut. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 wrenches carefully. I think I can use the open end of my wrench. I'm going to use my second wrench or maybe my ratchet and basically just mimic where these points are at. Okay, I got the bottom one held perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and take my ratchet and I'm going to turn and I'm going to check this thing as I go. All right, that looks perfect. Okay, let me show you what it looks like now. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about right here. So you got this nut on the bottom and you got this nut on the top. And you see how they're matching perfectly. It just doesn't take much, but you know, it's all the small details right there. So I got OCD and you know, seeing these valve stems, it's gonna make me a lot happier. Because if you forget to put these valve stems in position at the tire shop, they may not know how to work with these things and they'll put some nasty rubber valve stems on your nice expensive wheels and you just don't want that. Okay, now last step, you want to go ahead and take your valve stem cap, screw it in position, and there you have it. But you don't want to actually leave these valve stem caps on when you go to the tire shop because a lot of times tire shops will actually misplace these valve stems. And I don't know if you can see right there, it says raised right there on the top. So we'll go ahead and set these valve stem caps off to the side until we come back from the tire shop. Okay, so this right here is how you install valve stems that come with the Raise or Volk racing wheels when you buy these custom wheels. I mean, it's an intricate system right there with 2 nuts, a washer. There's a built-in rubber washer right there on the bottom as well. You want to make this thing too snug. So I don't know if you can see the thickness I've put in there. Let me kind of zoom in and show you guys. So I didn't go super tight. I don't want to actually ruin that rubber washer right there, but I think that's pretty snug and it's going to be airtight. I don't know what the torque spec is for this. I'll have to do some research, but if you guys know the torque spec on this, I'd love to know. Go ahead and post in the comments below. And the included raised valve stem that came with the TE37 is fully installed in the Saga S Plus TE37. Now we're ready to take this thing to the tire shop after we do the other details. All right guys, now that we've got the valve stems successfully installed on the Volk racing wheels right behind me, we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the next step. So the next step, we're gonna go ahead and install or actually apply this Adams graphene coating. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with graphene, but this is supposed to be a step up with ceramic coating. So those of you not familiar with ceramic coatings, essentially what it is, it's a paint protection type of system, and it's actually much more effective than traditional car wax. So the hydrophilic qualities, ease of washing, you know, avoiding brake dust, and basically being able to rinse that wheel off a lot easier than taking, you know, a rag and soap and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and give our best attempt in applying this Adams graphene coating, and I'm gonna show you guys what's going on here. So let's go ahead and take a closer look right behind me. Okay, so here's the contents of what's inside the Adams graphene ceramic coating advanced kit. Anyhow, we got 2 single soft plush towels. You got the suede applicator. Looks like got a silk or some type of very soft cloth, latex gloves, installation instructions, 2 spray bottle nozzles, and then we got surface prep, which that probably is like a hybrid of rubbing alcohol. And they got graphene boost for maintenance, and of course the graphene ceramic coating. You always want to put the cap back on after putting a few drops onto the suede applicator pad. So this is a very complex system, and if you guys are not comfortable doing this, I highly recommend taking your wheels or your entire car up to a professional and having this done, because there is certain steps that need to occur in order for this to be successful. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and start with the inside barrel. So as you can see, I've got 1-inch strip tape along the outer edge, and the reason for that is because when the tires get installed, this is usually where the wheel weights go. And if you've got ceramic coating or graphene coating on the inside barrel, those wheel weights will basically just come off and they won't want to stick. So I've got this taped off just so the wheel weights can stick a lot better. And the second thing I've done is on this side right here. This is where all the Rays or Volk Racing Wheel decals are on the inside. So I've got this taped off. I don't want graphene coating on top of this because I'm going to go ahead and put PPF or paint protection film right on these decals. Okay, as you can see, I got all 4 wheels with the face on the ground with a moving blanket so you don't scratch up the face. And I've got the barrels pointed up because we're going to go ahead and start the application process on the inside of the barrels, because I need to learn this system and see how this works. And if you make any errors, you do not want to make that on the face of the wheels. So it's a lot better to err on the barrels as opposed to the face of the wheels. Just a little FYI. Alright, I'm going to give a brief instructions of how I'm going to do this. So first things first, we're going to take our surface prep, we're going to take our spray nozzle, attach it in the bottle, and then we'll go on the inside barrel of the wheel, spray it down, and then we'll wipe it away with this plush towel right here. Get any residue or any surface stains off. And then we're going to go ahead and take our latex gloves, put those on our hands. That's very important right there. And then we're going to take our graphene coating and we're going to apply a few drops to the suede applicator pad right there. And then once we have a few drops on there, you take your applicator pad, and what you're going to want to do is make swipe actions in one direction. You don't want to go too large an area, you want a controlled area, and then actually you want to go the opposite direction as well. So like for example, left to right, and then down to up. That's what we're going to do. Now since this is a matte black finish, this is going to be a little bit more challenging to see the chemical reaction doing its thing. So essentially what I've read from some other detailers is if you got your latex glove on, you can actually do a touch test with your finger, just one little small spot, and if it feels sticky, then it's ready to buff off. So you want to take this suede pad right here and you want to just basically rub it off, because if you don't rub this stuff off in the right time, you're going to have a bunch of high spots and you do not want that. So we're going to be learning the system on the barrels of the wheels. I guess if you really want to be careful, you could probably just apply it to this back lip right here, because you'll never see that when the thing's on the car. But we're going to go ahead and start on the barrels and see what happens. So that's basically the process of how you apply ceramic coating in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and get the latex gloves on and we'll see what the end results are. Alright, let's go and get started. Okay, I want to go ahead and show you guys the results of doing the face here. So about half of it has been done with the graphene coating by Adams, and the other half has not been done. So I don't know if you can see on camera. So right here, I got a little bit on the spokes right here. I wiped it off, but these 3 spokes have been done with the graphene coating, and these 3 spokes right here have not been done. So if you can see the level of, I guess, a little bit of shine. I know this is matte black wheels, so you're not gonna have as much shine as a gloss black. Anyways, it's almost like it's turned into a satin black, which I'm fine with. You know, I love the satin black wheels on the FL5, and these are a matte black, so it's a less shinier sheen than satin black. But anyways, just wanted to go ahead and illustrate to you guys the differences. So here's a good spot right here. So the transition right here. So this has been treated, this is untreated right there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the application on this wheel, but so far I'm impressed. I'm doing about 5 minutes in between coats and wiping things off. So you don't want to leave this stuff on too long. So just pay attention to your watch and, you know, use your glove to do the touch test. or take the rag and see if it drags a little bit. But so I think 5 minutes is my ample time. So it's all going to depend on your temperature, your humidity level, and so that's basically the variables involved. All right, let me go ahead and finish this wheel up and we'll show you the end results. But we still got 3 more wheels to go here. This is a time-intensive process, but I want to go ahead and make sure this thing is done right. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Alright guys, unfortunately we're all out of time on today's episode, but this covers the introduction of the TE37 Saga S Plus 18x10 wheels in God spec form for the FL5 Type-R, and we're able to do partial preparation. So we need to go ahead and do a few more steps before we go ahead and take these things up to the tire shop and get the tires mounted. But I have a feeling this is going to be a multiple part episode, but I just want to go ahead and make sure that I cover all aspects of wheels and tires for this FL5 Type-R and show you guys what's all associated with go ahead and mounting custom wheels and tires on your car or truck. Anyhow, if you got any specific questions, please feel free to comment below. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.